We welcome you to another live edition of The Sports Box, your go-to sports podcast featuring great content, conversation, and your occasional disagreement. Stick around to interact and ask questions. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
Oh yeah, just what they need, but then they fed me lies. It comes as no surprise that we still holding on, and fear would take it over. They said we don't belong. We will not on the dough, we will not take a no. You will not gain control, cause maybe this is just the way that we roll. So just go, we will not anymore, cause maybe this is just the way that we roll.
What's up, everybody? Good morning, and welcome to another episode of the Blitz. We've been gone for 2 weeks because we had some life events coming up. Nate had to go to a couple of things, and I didn't want to do the show by myself. So here we are. We're back, and we're excited, man. We talked to a lot. We've got to get a lot to get into. It's been a crazy 2 weeks since we last talked. So things have changed. Things have moved. I like the background that I picked here. So this is going to be nice. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. How's your 2 weeks been, man, before we get into the show?
Good. I miss doing the show, man. I miss talking to you. And this has become pretty quickly a routine in my Sunday mornings. So I'm super pumped to be back. What about you, man?
Yeah, man, I'm excited, dude. I still do the shows on Tuesday and Sunday mornings with the guys. But, yeah, dude, this is probably one of my favorite things to do is talk about fantasy football. So I'm excited to get into it. We got a couple of topics to get into. One, we're going to obviously get through our Week 8 injury report, help people figure out what they want to do for the day today and also tonight and tomorrow. And then we're also going to get into a segment where we're going to go through the top 5 players from each position, quarterback, running back, receiver, and tight end. And we're going to see if they can maintain their status in the top 5 and who might drop out, who can come in, and we'll go from there. So let's get into it. Obviously, as we always do in the Blitz, man, we keep it real. So Week 8 injury report. The first thing, obviously, that a lot of people are going to be talking about is the, I think it was a couple of days ago, it was announced from Dave Canales that Bryce Young is going to start on Sunday because of the unfortunate car accident of Andy Dalton and his family. Thank God all of them are safe. No issues, no harm, no fouls. But obviously they're going to give Dalton the week off. Honestly, for me, like Chuba Hubbard's been on fire since Andy Dalton's took over, and you can also say that about Deontay Johnson and the crew. They said they're not winning games, but fantasy wise, Chuba's been great for me. I sat him because of Bryce Young starting. What's your overall thought process of Carolina's core of skilled receivers? Like, do you have any interest? Like, I don't think Deontay is playing today, but
no, the reports that I've seen, Deontay's not playing.
So
we'll talk about Chuba Hubbard a little bit later. Little tease for you. But yeah, no, I'm not into Carolina's options this week. I think that with so many teams, nobody's on bye this week. Like, you have your entire team, you have the whole league, you have every player from every position available to you. There is no need for you to be playing Bryce Young in a superflex. There's no need for you to be playing Xavier Legette in the deepest of leagues. Like, if you need an emergency start, maybe Legette is the guy who I would go to, but I'm completely out on the Panthers options this week. What are you thinking?
Yeah, no, I'm with you 1,000%. Like, really, like, if you need to start Chuba, start him. Obviously, because if you have no one else,
that's a need. Yeah,
but overall, man, like you're really stuck in purgatory, having to roll with Bryce Young. It sucks. Yeah, but let's see what the kid can do, man. Hopefully, this. I think he hasn't started since week 3. He hasn't played since week 3, I believe. Maybe week 2. I don't know. I don't remember. But 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, there's been more than enough time. The Carolina has to see what they have. I'm about to get into reality. I'm about to get in game-winning drive mode because I could talk about the missteps of Carolina since they chose him over C.J. Stroud. So We don't want to get into that. Yeah, I'm not starting anybody Carolina-wise, so I'm out on anybody this week with them.
Dang, S2 cognition test got him.
Mm-hmm. As this morning, it was reported that Travis Etienne is a long shot from playing. So expect a lot of Tank Bigsby today against the Packers. How do we feel about Tank? Are we feeling good about him? Last week wasn't that great of a week for him.
Yeah, I think that Tank's a startable asset. Against the Packers, I think that he's going to be able to look as long as he can catch a couple of dump offs in this game from Trevor Lawrence. I think that he's going to be okay for fantasy today. He's going to get the lion's share of the work. I think that he's startable in like a flex type option.
Okay. Obviously, unfortunate news came out on Monday, or I think it was Monday or Sunday.
Yeah, it was Monday.
Chris Godwin is out for the year with a dislocated ankle. Prayers to him and for a fast heal up. Going to be one of the most coveted free agents in the 2025 offseason, which I'm looking forward to. It's going to be stacked free agent wise. Cade Otton, the tight end for Tampa Bay, who's been on a good increase the last 3 weeks from a target share standpoint and a point standpoint production. He is going to have an increase in targets as the Buccaneers are short-handed receiver course. Obviously, you also know with Chris Godwin, also Mike Evans is going to be gone till week 12. I think it might be later. But Baker's not going to have two of his top guys. We're going to have Cade. We're going to have Rashad White, obviously from the backfield, and then you're going to have Trey Palmer and McMillan. Are we off Baker Mayfield, or just for this week? Is it going to be now is it going to be a thing where, hey man, it's going to be matchup to matchup and see what we can do? It's not like a blind, it's Baker Mayfield, we're going to start him because of what he has, because he doesn't have those two guys anymore.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that it's league dependent. I think if you're in a super flex, you don't really have options, so you got to keep starting Baker. And I think that he's a decent option, but I think you need to temper your expectations. Losing two top 20 wide receivers in the league is going to be bad for literally anybody. So I think Cade Otton is great. I think that he's been Mr. Necessary for this team. Whenever there's somebody out, his targets always spike. And then statistically, the best place for these targets to go is going to be the running back position. That's where almost all these targets go when wide receivers, tight ends are missing time. It's the running back when these targets get vacated. So look to see Rashad White for sure. I think that he's got more value now because we didn't really know who was going to start out of this backfield. This weird three-headed monster between him, Sean Tucker, and Bucky Irving. Super strange. And then also, if you guys haven't seen the Chris Godwin injury, which I'm sure everybody has, but prayers up to Chris Godwin, man. That is just such a tough thing to go through and tough to watch for us fans. And prayers up to him. I think, for fantasy wise, you can start Otton and you can start the running backs. And then I don't know about these receivers, man. Who do you think is going to get the start for these guys? And who do you think is going to be the receiver to pop out of this group?
If I had to pick, it'd be McMillan.
I think so.
He got
too.
8 targets, I believe, after Mike Evans left, or 11 targets, something like that. I'm plugging on. I think if anything, this is a benefit for Otto and Rashad White, because Rashad White, out of those 3 guys in the running backs, he's the one that has the most sureable hands and the best route running.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like that.
I'm not starting Rashad White today.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally fine.
I'm staying away from Tampa Bay against Green Bay.
Yeah. I think you got to see what this team looks like without Baker for 1 week, and then move from there.
I agree. Good thing for Baker and company is that they're in the NFC South, so they have a lot more tastier matchups within the division. So that's
for sure.
Good thing for them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The Chargers, DJ Shark, his practice window is open, but he's not returning because of his groin. Huge misstep this year for them not the fact that they don't have DJ Shark. He has to play 1 snap all year. So that's going to hurt. But Jalen Johnson and Jalen Rieger are playing as they were elevated from the practice squad Saturday to help round out receiver corps. Also, Quentin Johnson and Darius Davis will be out. Chargers, once again, 2 weeks in a row, no receivers, no big time playing receivers. I'm not saying a lot for QJ, but he's been something this year. So it's been a big improvement for him from last year. But regardless of the fact, I'm just staying away from this offense.
Yeah, I think that you have to really. I think there are one, maybe two startable options across this whole offense this week. And one of them might be Will Dissly. that's where we're at.
Considered a deep sleeper. I agree.
And that's a deep play. But that's where we're at with this Chargers offense, man. DJ Chark is low key someone who can field stretch. He means something to this offense. And not having him on the field, you can see it. Justin Herbert is getting paid a lot of money, and he is playing so well. But the poor guy has nobody to throw to. Nobody's getting open. It's really tough. I'm trying to stay off of Chargers this week for sure.
Yeah. George Kittle is expected to play. He's been dealing with a foot injury, but he is supposed to play tonight's game against Cowboys on primetime. Also, let's just throw it out there. Kittle and Deebo Samuel are both playing today. Deebo had a scare last week, was in the hospital, was released, I believe, on Tuesday or Wednesday, if I'm correct. And he's been looking good all week. So that's a huge boost for Brock Purdy and managers of Brock Purdy. So I'm one of them. So, I mean, this is good to see that both these guys are playing. Jordan Mason is good. Next week, we're supposed to see the return of CMC. And obviously, it's a big loss to them not having Brandon Ayuk and Juwan Johnson but they're both, and Juwan Johnson's out today. So, so this is huge. I mean, I'm all about San Francisco tonight. Honestly.
Yeah, start your San Francisco guys.
Yeah, start your San Francisco guys. I agree.
I have a quick question for you in regards to San Francisco. What do you think of Ricky Pearsall? Are you stashing him?
Be something. If there's ever a time for a rookie to make an impactful game, I was already leaning on him tonight. I didn't think Deebo was going to play. Now, but even Deebo playing now, I mean, someone's got to step up to be the number 2 guy because, from a receiver standpoint, because you also have Juwan out.
Yeah,
which I was hoping Juwan wasn't going to be out, but
for sure. I think you're going to see a real increase in target share for Kittle this weekend, and then starting next week, if the manager in your league is not super, what's up? If the manager in your league has CMC and they are not looking good, offer them a package of players right now. Yeah. Offer them players right now. Do it this morning before the games go off today. Offer them players right now. Christian McCaffrey is going to have 1 billion targets from the running back position. 1 billion. 1 billion. He's going to be a league winner, which is crazy that we're saying this about Christian McCaffrey in week 10, that you could go trade for him. But this is your one window right now. This is your last chance because he's going to get activated and he's going to go off.
At this point in the league, it's a buy low. He's probably the number 1 buy low candidate.
Absolutely.
That you can get right now.
Without a doubt.
Jaden Daniels, rookie phenom quarterback for Washington Commanders, had fracture ribs last week. Didn't play the entire game, which sucked for a lot of people because it was one of the most juiciest matchups you could have fantasy wise. He is listed as questionable for Sunday's contest against the Chicago Bears today. Has all signs pointing towards him playing, but the team will need to see how he feels during pregame warmups. Adam Schefter of ESPN reports Daniel said Friday he felt good and wants to play, but said it wasn't his decision. The report adds. He also came out this morning. Ian Rappaport said that Jaden does a lot of VR practicing every Sunday morning, and that this morning he did not have any discomfort. Felt like himself. As a person who doesn't have Jaden Daniels, I wish he did. For me, man, my reality game-winning drive guy is telling the Commanders don't play him because of RG3.
Yeah, this screams that.
It's really hard. Like, it's really hard to determine from a fantasy standpoint, like, do I really want to roll with him? Because not only that, he's going against a top 10 to 15 defense. And it's going to be, if you can't move and run, like it's a commonality for him in his gameplay and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I sit him. Honestly, I would sit him. Why risk it? Why? I mean, it's risky for me from a fantasy standpoint. I sat Daniels, and I'm starting Brock Purdy. So that's something that I am doing, because not only do I have those guys back, but I'm going against a really bad Dallas defense that probably won't have Micah Parsons tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I agree with that. I have a quick question for you. I'm going to hop in just like one of our viewers, and I'm going to do a Sunday morning question to you, Drew. Jaden Daniels is hurt for me. I'm not playing him even if he's active. I feel like he can't play in this game because if he gets hit once, they're going to take him out of this game. I feel like they have to do that with RG3. Are you starting Dak Prescott against the Niners tonight, Sunday Night Football, or are you starting back from the grave Tua this week? Tua.
That's easy for me.
Tua it is. All right. Sounds good.
Miami,
I'm go with that.
Yeah, Miami's got a favorable matchup today. So
I agree. I just, it's back from the dead.
Thaddeus, what's up, man? Thank you so much for the comment. We really appreciate it, brother. So I have Tua and I have Kyler. Who to start? And also between starting Higgins if he plays or if not, I have Jacoby Myers, Rashad Bateman, and Tillman. Who to start of these four? Okay, so let's break it down real quick, Thaddeus. So I have Tua and I have Kyler. Who to start? So we got Tua. The Miami Dolphins are going to go against. Who are they playing against today?
Let's take a look. They're putting the Cardinals today.
I'm going to brain fart right now.
Cardinals.
Okay, and then obviously the Cardinals are playing. Ooh, that's tough.
That's a tough one. I think you go with Tua. That's my gut. I think you go with Tua. I think he's going to be so happy. I think he's going to be so pumped to be back on that field. I think he's going to want to throw just 1,070-yard bombs to Tyreek. And
Tyreek, you know what? Hey, Thaddeus, you know what? I'm going to agree with my co-host here, and I'm going to say go with Tua. Go with Tua. Just I know it's rust, and he hasn't played since week 3, but I feel confident in having a game today against Arizona's defense. It's really bad defense. So is Miami, but I don't know. I just feel like Tua might have a game today. And also between starting Higgins, Higgins doesn't look like he's going to play. It's going to be a game time decision. But we haven't gone through all of our injury report yet, but this is Jacoby Myers, Rashad Bateman. I'm not starting Tillman. I would probably go Rashad Bateman just because the Raiders.
You're looking for the boom play.
Looking for the boom play. I mean, he's been pretty consistent the last 2 weeks. I would feel more confident going with Bateman than I would with
Zay Flowers is
Myers.
also questionable. So
Zay Flowers is yes.
Maybe Rashad Bateman's more involved in the game plan this week. That's what I
possibly. I'm thinking I'm leaning more to two tight end sets for Lamar.
I think Andrews is a little startable this week.
My boy Ant, who I'll be on a show with in a little bit. Which Jags you playing today, Bigsby or Thomas Jr.? If you had to pick, Thomas Jr. for me has been.
Yeah, I think
dog.
Brian Thomas. I think Brian Thomas, I think you have to start him. I think this is a negative game script that they have against the Packers. I think they're going to need to throw to keep up. And the Packers have a defense that we've seen can get thrown on. They have their moments where they can get 12 sacks in a game like they did last week. But I think that I think you start Brian Thomas.
Yeah, I'm going Brian Thomas too as well. So Jacoby Myers is expected to be active today against Kansas City, but it's Kansas City. I'm staying away from all Raider players, man.
yeah.
Tyreek Hill's in line to suit up today, which is his foot. Like you say, he's going against Arizona. I expect Tyreek Hill to go off today.
Yep.
T. Higgins still has hope to play Sunday. His quad felt better yesterday. Bengals are hopeful that the wideouts will be able to play Sunday, Week 8 clash with the Eagles. Yeah, brother, Thaddeus, if T is even able to play, I'm still putting T in because the Eagles secondary is horrific. So, and Joe Burrow's been on fire. So,
absolutely.
Zay Flowers, like you said, is a game time decision. So make sure you guys have game. Okay, here we go again. I don't want to do this. Oh, we got to do it. Zay Flowers got to go put him in the flex. Just in case anything happens, you could put a running back or a receiver or a tight end in there. It's just common sense, right, Nate? I mean,
yep, absolutely. Yep.
Tajay Spears is going to be out today for Tennessee Titans. So a lot of Tony Pollard against the Lions today.
Yep.
And yes, start him. I would start Tony Pollard. Don't even have a worry, right? Like we're good there.
Throw him in.
Jonathan Brooks is not activated. We don't care. Dalvin Cook is elevated to the active roster. Now, this is interesting because Doodle has been playing pretty good ball as of late. This gives me a little pause to start him.
Yeah, it's gross because Dalvin Cook is old. But yeah, he's probably going to get some carries. Disgusting.
Yep. Mike Williams is expected to reclaim a regular spot in the 3 receiver sets for the Jets in Sunday's game against the Patriots, as Allen Lazard is not playing. Interesting. Very interesting.
Deep leagues, maybe a flex option. You could give him a second look.
Yeah. And that's it for our injury report. And so let's get into our top 5 players. So as it stands today, and this also includes Thursday night's game, this past Thursday, Lamar Jackson's number 1, Baker Mayfield's 2, Jaden Daniels 3, Josh Allen is 4, and Joe Burrow is 5. Nate, what quarterback is – what are we expecting out of this top 5? Who's dropping, who's going up, who's staying the same?
I'm going to pick – I'm not going to pick the easy fruit right now and say Baker Mayfield. Jaden Daniels has a pretty tough schedule coming up. I think that you need to temper your expectations for him just a little bit. He had this injury. He's got the Bears this weekend. They have a pretty tough schedule over the next couple of weeks. They don't have these cakewalk options. So I think Jaden Daniels may be a sneaky – I'm not saying he's going to fall out of the top 10, top 15. I think that you're thinking like 6 or 7, though, not quarterback 3. I think there's a couple of guys who are going to elevate over the second half of the season.
Got a question for Brian. Brian, thanks for coming on the show, man. Thank you for giving us your comment. This is standard scoring, Nate. Start 2 wide receivers. Options are Debo, Christian Watson, Keon Coleman, and D-Hop. Which 2 you starting in standard scoring? This isn't PPR.
I think Debo for sure. Keon Coleman, maybe. I think with Amari Cooper there, he's in a spot where he really should be, which is he's a 2 for a team, and he's a 2 for Josh Allen. So I think that's fantasy relevant. What do you think? Those three are
I
tough.
mean, I haven't done standard scoring since I was in high school. So like,
Yeah,
my
fix
brother,
your league, Brian.
we got to get you to PPR, brother. Brian, definitely go with Debo, just because of the multi-use that he can bring to the offense, especially without Brandon Ayuk. So that's definitely a number one. Number two, if I had to pick, because I'm looking for more touchdowns than catches, because of standard scoring, catches really don't matter. I go D-Hop. Just because I think
you're right. I just think it's gross.
Was that?
I think you're right. I just think it's disgusting.
Yeah, if it was PPR, I'm going Coleman. But yeah, that's a tough one. That second one, but Debo for sure. But good luck, Brian. Good luck today, man. Appreciate the question, brother.
Best of luck and fix your league, Brian.
Yep. For me, man, Lamar's gonna finish this out as number one. Baker's gonna drop
for sure.
Jaden Daniels is gonna drop. Josh and Joe will stay. And I wrote this down. Here it is. And Jordan Love is going to come up.
Okay.
And CJ Stroud is going to come up. Those are my two guys that are going to replace Baker and Jaden. Jaden Daniels' schedule is going to be so tough. I still think he's going to win games, but I think it's just going to be hard to be fantasy relevant. So those are just my two opinions, but we'll see how that goes for quarterbacks. Running backs, Derrick Henry's winning in a landslide, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Derrick Henry, Kyron Williams, Saquon Barkley's third, Alvin Kamara's 4, and Jamar Gibbs 5th. We got Nate on this one.
This is a tough one for me. All these running backs are so good. I like that from David. Nice comment. Stafford is moving on up. With those two receivers, definitely fantasy relevant. He could definitely move into that top 5. That's for sure a possibility. For me, and I know this sounds weird, but I think it might be Kyron who is the one out of this bunch that might be falling out for me. I think it's the touchdown dependency. That's really the only thing that I can think of. Yeah. Saquon is a lock. Kamara is going to get 1 billion receptions, yards, carries, everything for that team because he's their entire offense. Jahmyr Gibbs looks phenomenal, Sonic and Knuckles. And Derrick Henry's not. Derrick Henry is an absolute animal. He is who we thought he is, and they put him on the Ravens just like we thought, and he went the hell off. Like, the guy is just so good. Okay. Yep. I'm on my soapbox. I think it's Kyron. I don't know. It's. I know it sounds really funky and funny.
So Kyron's gonna drop. You bring it up.
I'm bringing up Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker on a points per game. He's really close to the top 5 right now. I think that he's having just a phenomenal season. And Zach Charbonnet is not a threat. Not a threat. So yeah, I that's who I'm bringing up. What about you? I'm really interested to see out of this 5 what you do with these guys, because this was tough for me.
Look at that stats here. For me, absolutely asinine that you said Kyron Williams is going to drop.
I know. It feels awful. It feels like I'm wrong. But out of this 5, I don't know who else to go with. Maybe Kamara's my second one. But this is tough, man. These guys are good. Yeah, these guys are who we thought they were.
This is easy for me. I think it was
okay.
Receivers are more tough for me. Receivers are. But Derrick Henry obviously is going to stay at 1. I think what he has in Baltimore is a beautiful connection with Lamar. So I don't think there's argument for me with that. I'm with you on Saquon. I think Saquon at 3 is a beautiful spot for him to stay at.
Yeah.
Alvin and Kyron, I think it's even more of a benefit that Puka and Cooper are back.
No, for sure. I'm not marking that as a negative.
From an offensive standpoint, there's not going to be 8 or 9 in the box anymore because you got to cover Puka and Coop. And now you're going to be able to have that free reign for play action, for running in between the tackles outside. Kyron's I think he's an underrated runner. And his hands are one of the best in the NFL from a running back standpoint. He's getting at least 8 to 10 targets a day from throwing. There's too much usage for me to drop Kyron. So Kyron's gonna stay at 2 for me. Saquon's gonna stay at 3. Alvin Kamara and Jahmyr Gibbs are gonna drop for me.
Okay.
And I'm with you on Walker. Walker missed 2 games because of his what do you call it? He had core issues.
Yeah, oblique.
So he's coming up. I think Mixon is just not going to have enough at the end of the year. And Bijan is just too inconsistent with Atlanta. So the other guy is Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall will be 4 or 5. You can mix and match Breece Hall and Ken Walker. But if there's a chance for you guys to get one of those top 5 players, I do whatever you can to get them, because especially Ken Walker. Walker is just I think he's just a beast. And so it's just pick your cream of the crop in the top 5, but I think Alvin Kamara is going to eventually see reality, and that reality is going to go away from him because he's been on such a crazy run. So,
yeah, I agree with that. I'm fascinated to see what you think about these receivers.
Yeah, me too. Jamar Chase is 1. Justin Jefferson's 2 after Thursday night. Chris Godwin's 3. Jaden Reed's 4. Drake London is 5. What are your thoughts on this?
I have a couple of thoughts. I think Jamar, Justin, that's where they end up at the end of the year. These guys were drafted in your fantasy leagues to be great. They were drafted to be your guy, and they are that guy. They are both that guy. Chris Godwin, obviously, is going to drop out of his top 5. So sad. Again, prayers up to him, and hopefully he can get back to work. He came back so strong after his torn ACL. The guy has great work ethic, by all accounts, and is a really nice guy, so you hate to see it happen. But hopefully he can get back to form and be a Los Angeles Charger at the beginning of next year. That would be awesome.
For who?
And then for Chris Godwin. I would love to see Chris Godwin in that powder blue. He would get open so fast. It's something about those uniforms, baby. He'd fill the Keenan Allen role so perfectly.
It's too old now.
I think you can pay him decent money to be year 2. Yeah. QJ on the outside. Anyways, we're talking Chargers fantasies now. I think Godwin drops out of this group. I also think Jaden Reed drops out of this group. I think that with these receivers getting more healthy, Jordan Love getting more in tune with Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson being on the field more, I think that he is one of those guys that kind of drops out. I think there are 2 really easy answers for guys that can pop in, even 3 or 4. AJ Brown. The guy is an absolute stud. He missed a couple of games earlier in the year, but he is the alpha. Malik Neighbors, absolute animal. Like, Malik Neighbors is going to get 150 targets by the end of the season, maybe 200 targets and 150 catches. Insane. Cooper Kupp looks great. Amon-Ra looks great. CeeDee Lamb looks great. Like, there are so many guys that are interchangeable in this top 5 that I think that even Drake London might fall out of this 5. That's my thought.
This is tough for me. I think obviously Carlvin's gonna drop out. Obviously, unfortunately. I'm gonna replace Godwin with St. Brown. I think Justin will end up being the number 1 receiver fantasy wise. Jaden Reed, I'm still iffy on Jaden. just because of so many mouths there is to feed.
Yeah.
In Green Bay. What I'm interested in is to see where Lamb could end up, because I think the Cowboys are always a second half type of team, and I think they need to figure something out between him and Dak. I'm just like kind of shocked how their production has gone this year, because last year they really didn't have that much help, and they still dominated, and now it's like it's just bad. It's just really bad. So, yeah. So I'm interested to see how that's going to happen, how that's going to pan out. But yeah, I'm going to take out Godwin. I'm going to take out Reed, and give me St. Brown, and give me God, it sucks too because Nico's hurt too.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Neighbors. Give me Neighbors.
Yeah.
I don't think Lamb's going to reach the top 5. It's just not enough. So, the receiver's tough, man. Receiver's really tough.
It is.
All right, last one here, guys. Tight ends. For tight ends, we have George Kittle, which is number 1, which is shocking to me. Brock Bowers, Tucker Kraft, Cole Kmet, and Mark Andrews. I don't even know if that's right.
I think that's right.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay. Out of those 5, who do you like, Nate?
Who do you look real quick? No, that's not right. Trey McBride is number 5 on the year.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I'll fix that real quick.
Yeah, no worries. I think that out of those 5, I think that Tucker Kraft and Cole Kmet are the 2 to possibly fall. Tight end is so gross. I hate the tight end position. I'm not even going to get in my soapbox about it. David Njoku, Jake Ferguson, those are the 2 guys that I think are going to hop into these spots if Tucker Kraft and Cole Kmet fall out. David Njoku because Jameis Winston. Thank the Lord for Jameis Winston. We don't root for injuries on this show, but we are real about when injuries happen to people who are known not to be the most upstanding citizens, and their entire fan base chanting, thanking them for being injured while they're hopping off the field. So we are rooting for the Browns and Jameis Winston right now for sure. I think David Njoku is going to get a ton of targets, and then Jake Ferguson, like you said, Cowboys second half team. They're coming off the bye. They need something to happen. They're going to abandon a run, I think. And I think that CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson are going to get 1 billion targets.
Yeah, I agree. I'm keeping Kittle. I'm keeping Brock. I'm keeping McBride.
T. McBee. Yeah, baby.
McBride's going to come up. He's going to be the top 3. I think Kraft and Kmet are going to go down.
Yeah.
I have a shocker.
Can't wait to hear it.
Kyle Pitts is going to be the top 5. He's having a great last 3 weeks. I'll tell you that much. His best 3-week stretch ever in his professional fantasy career. So I think he's going to continue on that trend. They're building a really good rapport between him and Kirk. Kirk loves his tight ends. And right now, I think Kyle is 1, 2, 3, 4. But he's 6. So he's right out of it. So I'm going to take Kyle Pitts to top 5.
I can't wait to clip that and replay it on the show for you.
Go right ahead. And then whatever. And then 5th for me, man, I'm going to go Cade. Again, Cade Otton is going to be in the top 5. I'm going to take out Kraft. I think Kraft is just going to miss it. I like Kraft a lot, and I think he's just going to miss it. So, yeah, man, that's our basically like our first half of the season update on these guys. We'll do it before week 17, And this was a cool segment to do. Obviously, we're going to end our show like we always do with our must start and our must sit for each position. So let's start it off with let's go quarterback. And
right.
Who's your must start and your must sit, and who's your sleeper?
My must start is Kirk Cousins against Tampa Bay. I think that Tampa Bay's got a susceptible defense. I think that Baker is going to do enough to keep them in this game. But like you said, Kirk is really developing a rapport with Drake London, really developing a rapport with Kyle Pitts. I think this is a good game for Kirk. I think that he's ranked low this week. His expected points on like every platform that I look at is like 15. And Mason Rudolph's at 14. That's
crazy.
I'm trying to just give you a little bit of a confidence boost to start Kirk Cousins, people. That's my start. Who's your start, Drew?
Ooh. My must start of the week this week is finally he's gonna have his breakout game today. Who do you think I'm thinking of?
I have no clue.
He hasn't had a breakout game yet this year.
At quarterback, and he's played.
He's
Stroud.
played every week. Who?
Stroud.
No. Good guess, though. Good guess.
Thank you.
Patrick Mahomes against the Raiders. They called him a Kermit the Frog. It's time to Kermit their piggy asses all the way home, dude. We're going with Patrick Mahomes as a must start this week for the Chiefs. Let's go. If you have him, play him.
A, I can't believe as a Chargers fan you're doing that, and B, I can't believe that we can talk about Patrick Mahomes as a must start and be serious.
He's not, though. Most people are not starting him in fantasy.
I know.
My sit of the week. I'll start the sit of the week.
Please do.
My sit of the week. This is tough. I had a guy, and you know what? I'm just going to stick with it. Anthony Richardson against Houston. I am so sorry to the people that have him in the 2 quarterback league or super flex. It's got to be rough because him running is now a liability because of his injuries. He's had an injury this year. He missed weeks, and he's been an injury last year. That missed the whole entire season. I just don't want to have anything with him right now. I traded him for Caleb Williams and someone else, and I'm still losing, but it's still been better than if I would have had him. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, man. Richardson's a sit. It's a sit for me this week against Houston. A good defense, and it's a divisional game.
For sure. That's a great pick. My sit of the week is, and I cannot believe that I have to be serious about this right now, and it's going to sound like a joke, but this is a real thing. These are real stats behind this, what I'm going to say. My sit of the week is Kyler Murray against the Dolphins. Want to know why, Drew? Want to know why? Want to know why?
Why?
Black Ops 6 just came out.
Oh, my God. Yes,
and there are actual graphs showing that his points per game are on a downward trajectory starting when.
Oh my God.
It sounds insane. I sound like a crazy person. I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's insane.
It's insane, but it's going to work.
Richardson has been a bust. He was terrible in preseason. He couldn't play against second or third stringers. Yes, Austin.
This is
good call.
Very true, Austin.
So we gotta get going here. So dark horse for me today. I'm just gonna throw it out there and say Russell Wilson Monday night against the Giants.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Russell Wilson, and that would be my waiver add-on if you needed a quarterback.
Okay.
Nate, real quick, dark horse.
Real quick, Bo Nix against Carolina. They got a really susceptible defense. I think you could plug them in.
Love it. Let's get to running backs real quick here. My must start of the week this week And we don't do the obvious ones. We do the ones that you're struggling with for must starts. My must start of the week is I just had them. I wrote it down. Oh, was it? In accordance to ETN being out, my must start of the week for me is Tank Bigsby. I think Tank is going to have a big game today. He's going to expose that interior line of Green Bay. So I was on Rico, but now because of the Dalvin Cook situation, I'm away from it a little bit. But I had a tie between Tank and Rashad White, just to feel comfortable with those two. But if I had to pick, I'm going to pick Tank. So I'm going to go with Tank on this one. Real quick, Nate?
Nice. JK against the Saints. I think he's the one Chargers option that you can start. I think you need to have confidence at throwing him in this week. He's had a couple of down weeks. I think that he bounces back from that. I think he's a good start. You're sit, Drew?
Awesome. What's that?
You're sit?
Oh, yeah. Real quick. PPR, McBride and a joke. You crazy. I like both play. I like both play. Yeah, I would start both if you have that option. But if I had to pick, brother, it would be McBride.
Yeah, I think McBride too.
Yeah, my sit of the week. It was actually Thursday night. I stayed away from Aaron Jones. I didn't start him.
Ooh, nice. Nice.
Yeah,
so
I stayed away. That's gonna be that was my sit of the week. I know we're not supposed to do it, but it was just too obvious for me because the Rams, Sean McVay, man, he's the best coach in the NFL, and in my opinion. So yeah, Aaron Jones was my sit of the week. I didn't start him in 2 of my leagues.
Nice. Really quick, we got some news. Nico Collins apparently is expected to return week 10. A lot sooner than we thought. So people that haven't seen this news, go out and trade for this guy. Week 10, Nico Collins. He's a beast. My sit of the week is, we talked about him earlier, Chuba Hubbard versus Denver. Bryce Young at quarterback. This offense is not going to move. I think it's an issue. Don't start him.
Love it. And dark horse for me this week, Nick Chubb against Baltimore.
Nice. I like that. I'm going to go with Najee against the Giants on Monday night. He's had a sneaky good couple of weeks. I think you could pop him into your RB2 or your flex spot in deep leagues, and I think he's going to be a decent play.
Okay. We're going to move on to receivers now real quick. Who's your start of the week this week for receiver?
Start of the week, I'm going with Calvin Ridley against the Lions. He's been absolutely dog trash awful, but I think D-Hop out of town, Mason Rudolph's getting the start. His passing volume is up more than Will Levis's is. He throws the ball more, and I think that he is actually going to get Calvin Ridley some catchable targets. I think this is one of those squeaky wheel games like Diggs used to have in Buffalo and Minnesota.
I like that. No DK today. Looks like. And so with that, my start of the week has changed. I'm going to go start of the week this week. I'm going to go Tyler Lockett against Buffalo. I think they're going to put all their attention on JSN, and I think Tyler's going to have a nice, decent game today. Let's go Tyler Lockett.
I like that.
What's that?
I like that.
Yeah, thank you. My sit of the week this week is going to be for the second straight week. I just don't see it happening. I'm sitting Garrett Wilson against New England. I think it's going to be a lot of Devontae Adams, Crocklin, and Brees, like it was the first time they played New England. If there's ever a team that they needed to play against to get a re-up, it's New England Patriots. So let's see what they can do. But I'm sitting Garrett Wilson for Aaron Rodgers to build that chemistry back up with Devontae again.
Yep, I agree. That's good. My set of the week is going to be Terry McLaurin against Chicago. This is a really good defense. Jaden Daniels may not play. Let's answer this question first before I get to the end of that. Laporta
or Fant? Tight ends. Obviously, the Lions. They've been really distant, not going against going for Laporta. It's been one of the most biggest mysteries of 2024 fantasy.
Drew, you mind if I hop in real quickly on this one? I'm going to give you a little bit of confidence, Jordan. Start Noah Fant. He's my start of the week against Buffalo. We're going to hop real quick ahead into my tight end start of the week. I think that with DK gone, Geno Smith has one of the highest passing rates in the entire NFL this season. I don't think that goes down against a really susceptible Buffalo defense with a good offense that's going to be able to keep up. I want players in this game. I think that at the tight end position, anybody's as good a start this week as Noah Fant is. So, Jordan, Noah Fant, play that man.
Yeah, I'm going to push back against my co-host here, and I understand where he's coming from. I'm going Laporta today only because Jamo's out. He's gone. He's serving a 2-game suspension, so I think he's gonna move up in that target hierarchy, I guess you could say. And I think Laporta's gonna have that breakout game today, Jordan. I'm sorry that we're mixed. I mean, usually we're right on the money, but yeah, Laporta has to give some time, dude. I think today's the day he's gonna give out for what Goff needs. So
yeah,
I'm going
and in the
Laporta.
situation when Drew is really strong on a guy, usually he's right. He's got these crazy hunches. So I would listen to Drew. I'd go with Laporta. Go with the guy who's done it before. So we'll give you a definitive answer. We'll go Sam Laporta.
There you go. Real quick to finish up our dark horse of the week for receivers. I'm just gonna roll with it. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna go McMillan for Tampa Bay. Let's just see what he could do against Atlanta. Atlanta's not that great secondary wise. The safeties are great, but the corners, been iffy. But I'm gonna go. I was leaning towards him or Keenan, but let's just go with McMillan and see what happens. What you got?
Wide receiver dark horse of the week. I'm going Josh Palmer. Someone's got to catch the ball from Justin Herbert. I think that he is the more reliable guy. Yes, he is playing today. 4 for 63 last weekend. He could catch a touchdown and get you 17 points. Not bad.
No, that's what we were hoping for all year. We haven't gotten it.
Yeah.
Tight end start of the week. We got 5 minutes. Tight end start of the week for you.
I went with mine already. Noah Fant against Buffalo.
Noah Fant?
I think you could start him.
Okay. For me, it's going to be, and it's funny because I just told him he's going to drop out of the top 5, but I'm going to go Cole Kmet against Washington. I think you'll have a pretty solid day today. They're coming off a bye week. Caleb Williams is going to be on fire. Plug him in and everything. Plug everything that you have Chicago. If you have Swift, if you have Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, plug him in. I'd be a little hesitant on Rome because I just still think Rome needs to find his place in this offense. But dude, I'm definitely on the Cole Kmet train today against Washington's defense. Who you got? Oh, you already said no. Okay. Who's your sit?
My sit of the week is Cole Kmet against the Commanders.
Okay.
We do this every week with tight ends, man. Tight ends are so tough.
They're tough.
This is not a don't start him. This is a honestly, I think that Jaden Daniels either is playing and doesn't look like himself or doesn't play, and you get Marcus Mariota. And my only hesitation is maybe this is a blowout and Caleb Williams looks to his outside guys more than he looks to Cole Kmet. That's my only reason for saying sit him. This is not a hard sit. Tight end's just really tough. Drew, who is your dark horse of the week at tight end?
Well, I can do my sit first. My sit of the week is going to be Dalton Schultz against Indianapolis. Don't want to touch him. He's annoyed me all year. Very inconsistent. So I don't know what happened to him with Houston because last year I believe it was the second half last year he was tight end 9 or 8 last year, and all of a sudden he's not even touching those numbers. So that is my sit of the week. My dark horse of the week he's been on a 2-week trend, and I think I don't know if it's going to change or not for him. I'm hoping it's not, but let's go with Miami Dolphins tight end Jonnu Smith. I think he's going to have some good production. I think with Tua back, I think we're going to see a lot of safety draw. I call them safety valve passes. it just makes the more sense of the world to throw to Jonnu and for Tua, and let's just see this offense cook today. But I'm gonna go Jonnu Smith, 1 touchdown, probably 6 catches for 50 yards. Makes him a good day. So
great, 18 points, 17, 18 points. I like that. I'm gonna go real deep. I'm gonna go Juwan Johnson, tight end for the New Orleans Saints.
Ooh.
This is a Mr. Necessary against the Chargers. The Chargers are susceptible to the tight end position. They always have been. They always will be. Can't handle another dude from the porta potty. That's a good one. I like that. I like Juwan. I think that he's gonna be. Okay today. Safety valve, like you said. But this is Spencer Rattler that we're talking about. So deep play.
Definitely. All right, guys, it's been a great show. Thank you all for tuning in. My son's excited, and so any last words before we get out of here, brother?
No, none. Just thanks for having me on as always. This is highlight of my Sundays. Always a blast, man.
Always a blast. We'll catch you guys next week. Hopefully, thank you for all the comments and all the questions you gave us today on the Blitz. We always try and strive to be better next week. Share your videos, share our videos, get us around, and so we can start building up that audience and we can have some crazy shows. So until then, man, to you guys next week. Have a great day today, watching football today and tomorrow, and have a safe week this week. See you guys.
We welcome you to another live edition of The Sports Box, your go-to sports podcast featuring great content, conversation, and your occasional disagreement. Stick around to interact and ask questions. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.